Hello everyone, this is part 8 of What If Naruto Got Rid of the Kyuubi, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist. To see more, comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Diavan walks around in her new den absorbing chakra from the Kyuubi, who was now awake but scared, starting to lay some of the first eggs when she heard the voice of Naruto ask, "So what exactly happened in that test?" "I don't remember anything." Diavan was quite a moment trying to keep from telling him what really happened and said, "The test shows what kind of spirit you have, and if you have a dueling spirit where you both good and bad they would fight, but in your case your spirit fought Kyuubis for dominance in your body, and with the help of your spirit you defeated Kyuubi and forced it into submission. After that they returned to your body. Your chakra just made it where it was visible for my children to have seen." Naruto thought and said, "So basically I just fought with Kyuubi for control of my body. Nothing new there. So what exactly will happen with you being in my body?" Diavan said, "I will eat a little of your chakra, but mostly I am going to eat Kyuubi chakra to make new children for you to use in battle. Now that may sound good, but any chakra I eat will not be replaced like normal. You would have to earn it back with hard work, so that's why I am mostly going to eat Kyuubi chakra." Naruto was scared a moment, but when he heard it all he thought, "Thanks. So how exactly will I use these children? Are they like summons?" as he shudders a little. Diavan said, "No, we won't be like summons. The children will be used in a unique way. Basically it's where they each will come for a single attack, but I will explain it when you have some that are ready. Until then it won't do any good to explain, and I don't know how long it will take. It may be a few hours or it might be a few weeks. All I can tell you is that the eggs won't hatch for a little while, so don't worry about it, and no, we are not like a bloodline." Naruto nods and asks, "Will this throw off my chakra control?" Diavan said, "Actually it might help it, since you won't have as much of Kyuubi chakra going into your system as usual. I'm taking about 1 out of 4 of what Kyuubi naturally gives you, so when Kyuubi SS you would have absorbed 6 or 7 tails of his energy and I would have 8 the rest. Now I'm tired, so I'm going back to sleep, young one," as she circles in her cave and rest her head on her tail. Naruto thought, "Good night," as he watched the waves on the boat ride back to the mainland. His thought turned toward his cousin and thought, "If Shush is in Mist I am going to need someone who knows Mist to find her, and I only know 3 Mist nins, and I sure as hell not going to ask Sharkface, so that just leaves Zabuza and Haku. Then I have to find Hebatum and get Grasscutter from him before anyone finds out about her," as he sighs to himself, trying to plan out what to do. Back in Konoha around this time the Hokage was sitting at his desk as Team 4 walks in and he smiles and said, "So Genma, how are your team doing?" Genma looked at his team and at Ebu's black eye and said, "Mostly okay. It seems that Ebu's here has hurt team trust lately, as he has been spying on his teammate in the hot springs, as well as being very perverted when it comes to his thought of her, and has caused a little team friction, but I still believe that they will be ready for the Chunin exams." The third looked at Ebu's and thought, "Please don't let Naruto find out or he might K you," as he clears his throat and said, "Ebu's, I am giving you a warning not to do it again, or I will have you doing D-rank missions for 6 months by yourself like I have your teammate here for not following my orders," as he looked at Kurenai, who looked away. The third said, "All right Genma, your team will leave in 3 hours heading for Suna, however you will not be joining them until the finals. I have need for you on a mission, so I have assigned a temporary team leader to your team. You can come in now," as he raised his voice at the end and the door opened up and Itachi walked in, making Kurenai's eyes go wide for a moment as she recalls Naruto warning to be careful. She absent-mindedly touches her hip where she had the kunia hidden. The third said, "All right Itachi, I just told your team they will be leaving in 3 hours to go to the exams. Now before I dismiss you there is one other thing. There is another Konoha citizen going to be at the exams going solo, but he will not be representing Konoha but another village. I won't tell you who since it's a village secret, but he is an ally and you will be able to tell immediately who he is once you see him. Don't be surprised if you learn an S-rank secret, as after the exams it will no longer be a secret, or if he shows skills that someone so young shouldn't know. Now good luck in the exams and I will see you at the finals where I know you will make it." Dismissed. As the group turned to leave except for Genma, who looked at the Hokage. The Hokage saw him wait, and when the door closed he held up his hand to wait a moment as he read over another file, and when he was sure that chakra signatures from the group was away from the tower he said, Genma, I know you are wondering why I pulled you off of your team, and I will explain it, but you will not repeat any of this to anyone. Our spy network has uncovered a plot to assassinate the entire Uchiha clan in Konoha. It is supposed to happen in the next few weeks while your team is in Suna. I decided to be safe to have at least one male Uchiha away from the village so he can help restore the clan should my extra security fail, and that is why Itachi was assigned to your team, as not to arouse suspicion. I do have a mission for you like I said, but it won't start for 2 days. I am sorry for doing this, as I know you wanted to support your team before the finals, but sometimes you have to rest personal feelings for the good of the village. Do you understand? Genma asked, if I may be so bold to ask, but how exactly is someone going to K off 60 men, women, and children? The third sighed and said, for that we are unsure of, but we do know that there are Uchiha involved in it who are planning to help K the others, but who we are unsure of. It is the reason I have Jiraiya as well as 3 units of ABNU watching the Uchiha district for any signs of trouble, but even the best laid plans of men are not always perfect, so I am taking necessary precautions. Hopefully whoever is involved will see Jiraiya and the ABNU and back off. Don't worry, you will be one of my guards who will accompany me to the finals so you can see your team. Now if there is nothing else, you are dismissed. Genma sighs as he leaves and wondered about the new threat as well as who could be the other ninja. 3 hours later at the gate, Team 4 was standing at the gates when Itachi walked up with Sasuke, who asked, so brother, when are you going to be back? Itachi said, I don't know. Sasuke said, when you get back can you teach me how to throw shurikens? Itachi looked down at Sasuke and said, perhaps, as he tapped him on the forehead and said, now return home and listen to mother and father. I have to leave, as he walked off from Sasuke. Sasuke looked at Team 4 and Kurenai was looking at him and saw Sasuke look changed from one of happiness to one of contempt, and he, HMPED, and stuck up his nose like he was better than everyone and started to walk away. Itachi saw this and sighed, muttering to himself about arrogance and pride. Kurenai looked at him, and as they started to leave, one of the guards saw Kurenai that was guarding the gates when Naruto left and asked, so do you have a thing for ABNU or is it just young ones? This is the second time I seen you at the gates with a young ABNU, as he wiggled his eyebrows. Itachi stopped and asked, what are you both talking about? Kurenai said, it's nothing Itachi. Don't worry about it, as she tried to leave. Itachi looked at her and the guards said, nothing huh? I bet it was nothing when he took you in your arms and took you away. I bet you gave him a real good time. Ebuse looked at her wanting revenge and said, really, this the same ABNU who you got that mysterious scroll from? The guards said, the real kicker is she said that he was younger than her and stronger than us. Itachi said, there is no ABNU younger than me on the force right now. The guards said, that's what she said. He called himself Maelstrom and that he was new. Itachi looked at Kurenai, who was trying to stay calm, and asked, what do you know about this, Kurenai? Kurenai was about to say something when Kakashi appeared and said, hello, drawing everyone's attention. Kurenai saw Kakashi and hoped he was here to help. Itachi said, Kakashi-kun, I was wondering if you could help me with this mystery. It appears someone is impersonating an ABNU and Kurenai is involved. Kakashi said, actually Itachi, she is friends with him, and from what I heard all of you are correct on the part about him being younger than all of you, and the fact is he is stronger than me. After all, I tested him myself, and the Hokage, because of his unique skills and training, placed him on a long-term multiple mission journey. In fact, he will be in Suna from what I heard, but why I do not know. Kurenai does know him since he asked her to watch his place while he was away, but she does not actually know him since he has always met her under a henge. The only person who actually knows who he is and what he looks like is the Hokage. Itachi was stunned as he heard, but kept his emotionless face up and asked, if I may ask Kakashi-kun, how good is he and how old is he? Kakashi said, I know he is less than 12 years old and can stand toe-to-toe with Jiraiya-sama for at least several hours. Other than that I don't know. Itachi nods and said, I see. Thank you sir, and I will refrain myself and the others from questioning Kurenai-san, and I apologize for doubting you, miss. It's just you can never be too careful. It's just I would have expected to have heard about a new prodigy arising in Konoha. Kakashi said, the Hokage is keeping a tight lip on him and his skills because he believes that someone is giving information to other villages and is trying to find the mole since Satian classified information recently came up through our spy network. Itachi said, I see. Thank you for informing me. Alright team, let's head out. The team started to leave and Inu said, Kurenai, I was hoping you could give something to Naruto for me. H is in Suna, making everyone look at her. Kurenai asked, what is it Kakashi and why would Naruto be in Suna? Kakashi reaches into his weapon pouch and handed her a scroll and said, H is there for the exams. Hokage-sama is using his unique situation as a political move trying to get the survivors of Whirlpool to join Konoha, making everyone wide-eyed and the guard said, the Kyuubi brat, and suddenly he was impaled by a kunai in the head by surprisingly Itachi. Everyone was startled and Itachi said, he broke the law. Kakashi nods and said, well good luck everyone. I will take care of this, as he walked over to the S-guard and took his body away as Team 4 walked away toward Suna. After they were gone Kakashi looked down at the body and said, did you get enough info Hokage-sama? As the body dissolves into mud and the Hokage steps out from a tree and said, yes. Now that I know how he will react if someone badmouths Naruto as well as how he acts around his brother, I can have a mud clone impersonate him. Thank you agent for your help Chunin, and remember not to mention anything about what you heard or saw. The Chunin nods and said, no problem sir, as he returns to his post guarding the gates. A few minutes later Ibiki shows up with the real man guard and said, sorry about that but we had to make sure you were who you said you were. We're doing random checks on people trying to find the source of an information leak. The Chunin said, no problem. I understand, as he swayed a little from Anko, T. A little down the road Ebuse asked, Kurenai, what did Kakashi mean by Naruto unique situation and what does it have to do with Whirlpool? Kurenai sighed and said, I learned on accident that Naruto was actually born a ninja of two villages. Konoha and Whirlpool, meaning he never had to go to the academy to become a ninja. The Hokage decided because of who his mother was as well as who his father was that it would be a perfect excuse to bring in what survivors of Whirlpool are still out in the world. Kotetsu asked, who were his parents? I thought he was an orphan and how exactly did you find out? Kurenai said, well Naruto's mother was the Raisenkage of Whirlpool and his father was the Yondaime, making everyone stop and look at her. Itachi asked, are you sure? Kurenai said, yes. If you think about it H is the spitting image of his father once you take the whiskers away and it makes sense also. Would the Yondaime willingly ask some stranger to give up their child when he was not willing to give his own? Everyone thought about it and Ebuse said, damn, can't believe I missed that one. Kurenai said, the entire village missed that one and the Hokage kept it a secret from everyone to keep him from having assassination from Iwa. Itachi asked, how exactly did you find out? Kurenai giggled and said, you know my mission that I had to do for not listening to the Hokage. They were catching the Fire Lord's cat and I was outside the door one day when he told Naruto the truth and gave him his family scrolls. The Hokage asked me to keep quiet until Naruto was ready for the Chunin exams and since H is going to be in the exams I figure I can tell the truth now. Truth is it was through Naruto that I met Maelstrom. Apparently they have a connection somehow but how I don't know. Itachi said, to think that something so obvious could be hidden so easily. Our village really has become arrogant and stupid lately. Come on. We must hurry, as they took off into the trees. Kakashi after he left the Hokage walked back into his apartment and thought about what he had a conversation with Naruto about. Flashback. Naruto was in his house when Kakashi showed up. During the past few months Kakashi had learned where it was and had even helped a little when he could but today he was here for another reason. He had just left the Hokage office learning what exactly the Hokage had planned for Naruto. Kakashi was about to let himself in when Naruto walked toward his house from the entrance of the woods and said, hello Kakashi, what are you doing here? Kakashi turned and said, well I came to talk to you. I heard about what the Hokage is actually up to with you and I wanted to know if you are really ready for what is going to happen. The Hokage is basically sending you out to be ked. Naruto sighed and said, I know but it's the only way to accomplish the goal he wants me to and it also gives me the chance to find my aunts and uncles. Come on inside so we can talk. I am expecting a visitor in a little bit. Kakashi follows Naruto in and said, I know you are Junin on ninjutsu right now but your speed, Power and endurance are still lacking somewhat. Do you even have a plan for this? As he raised his voice with aggravation. Naruto said, yes I do. I got a lead that my mother mentioned in a scroll as to how to find my relatives. It's not much but it's a start. As far as showing everyone who I am, I figure showing how big of a threat I am would be the best way. I could make myself look like my dad since I do know his jutsu, but I also want to be recognized for myself. Kakashi said, what about Kurenai? Does she know? Naruto said, yes, I took a scroll by her team grounds earlier today, but she having an emotional problem with her teammate right now, so if she shows up, make yourself scarce. Just then the door knocked and Naruto was about to say something when Kakashi hanged himself into one of the battle toads and Naruto had to run upstairs to keep from laughing and to make it look like he was not expecting Kurenai. Kakashi then walks to the door and opens the door and said, oh, it's you. Naruto is upstairs packing, please come in. Kakashi saw her walk upstairs as he tried to make himself look busy, and after about 20 minutes she came back downstairs and left. He then walked upstairs and heard Naruto say, you can come out now. She gone. Kakashi appeared and looked at Naruto and said, so are you ready, Naruto? Naruto looked at the Kakashi and said, I will be now. Thanks. End flashback. Kakashi thought to himself, and he was sure his little gift will make Naruto day. When Naruto arrived at the gates of Suna, he was surprised to see that not a lot had changed since he was here in the future when he first came here to rescue Gaara. The guard saw him approach and said, what is your reason for coming to Suna? Naruto said, I came for the Chunin exams. The guard asked, where is your team and sensei? Naruto raised his shirt and showed his whirlpool headband and said, I don't have either. I was told the Hokage of Konoha had arranged for me to compete already. The guard asked, what is your name? Naruto said, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. The guard said to the other one, go inquire from the Kazekage. The other guard nods and leaves in a swirl of sand, and a few moments later he returned with the Kazekage, who looked at Naruto and said, so you are the one the Hokage asked me to allow. It is quite unusual for a Kage to ask a ninja of their village to represent another, but when he informed me that you wished to honor your mother's homeland, I agreed since Suna and Konoha had both been allies of Whirlpool. You may enter. Naruto bowed and said, thank you, Kage, as his head turned and looked toward the desert as he sensed something, and he said, pardon my interruption, Kazekage-sama, I thought I just sensed something I was not expecting, but I guess I have spent too many hours in the sun. Agent, I wish to thank you for allowing me to participate. The Kazekage smiled and said, yes, the heat of the desert can get to anyone if they are not careful, though it is not always the case. What do you think you sensed, Naruto? As he looked at the young boy and watched. Naruto eyes closed and thought, that's definitely a Jinchuriki, but who? And said as he opened his eyes, I'm not sure, but it felt like lightning. I have always had an unusual ability to detect lightning before it appeared, so I could get out of the way. The Kazekage looked at the sky and said, well, there is no lightning or storm, so it must be the heat. Go on in and get you some water and rest, and welcome to Suna. Naruto bowed and entered the village and thought, I know who it is now. That's definitely someone with lightning affinity, so that means it's her, as he searched for the name of the hotel Konoha ninja were going to be using. The Kazekage turned to the guard and said, follow him and keep an eye on him, and was about to leave when the other guard said, Kazekage-sama, another team, making the Kazekage look and get wide-eyed a moment and thought, that would explain the lightning feeling. A team from the Cloud Village. Naruto was on his way to get some rest at his hotel, already feeling himself being followed by a clumsy Chunin, and then his nose smelled something to make it twitch. He looked around and followed the smell and came to a small restaurant with a lot of empty space and a man looking scared, and Naruto walked up to him, obviously the owner, and said, I could not help but notice that you have a lot of empty seats, are you open? The owner looked at Naruto and said, yes, but HES here now, so I don't know if you should enter. Naruto said, but I smell ramen and that is what I want. I did not know someone in Suna could cook ramen. The owner looked shocked and said, ramen. Never in all my days have we ever served ramen. Naruto said, well, it smells like you have now and I want some. Can I come in and eat? As he pulled out his wallet, making the owner wide-eyed by the size of it, and said, yes, go on in and I will try and see if I can get you some of whatever they are cooking. Naruto shot a confused look at the owner and said, that's okay, I will go and get it myself since it looks like you're short-handed. as he walked by the sputtering man and laid some money on a table and walked into the kitchen. When he walked in, he was immediately bombarded by the sound of someone singing along with a radio and the sight of an 8-year-old Gaara looking at the person who was dancing by the stove while Kankuro was sitting a little to the side with his back to Naruto, and Kankuro said, "So tell me, Agent, how exactly you learned to cook ramen and why?" Temari, who still had her back to them, said, "My reasons were my own, and as for how both Ayami and Kurenai taught me Naruto favorites." Naruto said, "And why would you want to know my favorites?" making all three turn around and go wide-eyed, and he said, "Hello," with a smile on his face. The next thing he knew, he was being tackled by Temari, who wrapped her arms around him and said, "So you made it," as she let a tear roll down her face. Naruto, who had fallen down with her on top of him, said, "Yes, but what are you guys doing here? I thought that only I was coming back." Gaara stood up and helped Naruto up and said, "We decided to help our family," in a final tone of voice that anyone who knew the future Kazekage would know was not up for discussion. Naruto smiled and said, "Well, I'm glad. So how long have you guys been here?" Gaara said, "Since my uncle tried to kill me 2 years ago." Naruto nods and said, "I've been here about 6 months along with the old man Hokage, Kakashi, Anko, and Kurenai," as he looked down. Temari said, "Your wife and the others are here also." "How?" Naruto looked down and said, "No, Shusha's not my wife. Apparently I already went through a timeline once and SD, but those 4 came back to save me, having seen my memories, or at least the Hokage and Kurenai have," as he sat down in a chair. Temari said, "I see. So what are you doing in Suna now? I mean, we should not have met for several years." Naruto snorts and said, "The old man put me in the Chunin exams to try and find my other relatives. It turned out my mom had 2 brothers and a sister, but all 4 are S now. I recently learned on my way here. I do have a cousin who is in Mist, so after the exams I will be heading to Mist while doing missions," as he raised his shirt sleeve and showed them an Anbu caption tattoo, making all 3 wide-eyed. Temari asked, "What about you and Kurenai?" as she sat down beside him. Naruto said, "There's not much really. Me and her have gotten to know each other a little, but I already know that she will never be like my wife and our son will never be born," as he closed his eyes and a tear fell. Gaara walked over to him and said, "Well, we are here for you if you ever need us, brother," as he put his hand on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto's expression changed and his eyes opened and they were glowing, and looked at all 3 who were confused, and his voice came out in a female voice and said, "So you are the young one's adoptive family. It is an honor to meet you." Gaara narrowed his eyes and said, "Who are you? You're not the Kyuubi." Laughter could be heard from Naruto and said, "Correct. I am not the Kitsune. I am Diavan, one of the last dragons and partner of the royal family of Whirlpool. The Uzumakis. The young one here is one of the last 2 members, so I have decided to be his new companion since I am the oldest living dragon." Temari asked, "How did you get inside him?" Diavan looked at all 3 in the eyes for a moment and lingered on Temari and held out Naruto's hand and said, "Please shake my hand, dear. I need to see something." Temari was confused and asked, "What do you mean?" Diavan said, "All will be explained after I see something. I need to read your thoughts for a moment, and I can only do it by contact. There is something about you I must know." Gaara said, "You will do nothing to her." Diavan said, "I am unable to hurt anyone unless Naruto wills it, and he most definitely does not will it of any of you. Please have a little faith and let me see if my assumption is correct." Gaara was about to say something when Temari held her hand out and said, "All right." Diavan took the hand and looked into Temari's eyes, and Temari felt a little tingle in her arm, and Diavan smiled as she let go and said, "Sir, I was right. You will do and I approve." Temari asked, "Approve what?" Diavan said, "You will know in time, but it is not no. You have a personal mission that your brothers know not of to complete before you will find out." Temari got wide-eyed and asked, "How?" Gaara asked, "What is she talking about, Temari?" Temari said, "I made a promise to someone in my past that I wish to fulfill now that we are in the past. It was something I hoped for a long time I would be able to do, and now I can do it. It's just a personal matter to make my own soul feel free of my promise. It's nothing to do with anything important to changing the future." Naruto's eyes returned to normal and said, "I told you to ask next time," as he sighed and saw the looks all 3 were giving him and said, "It's a long story and should not be mentioned since my tail finally decided to come into the restaurant to see what is taking me so long. Gaara said, ramen, in a hungry voice. Temari squeaked and ran to the stove just as it was about to boil over and she said, damn it, it was almost ruined but I caught it just in time. As she came over with the pot and poured Naruto some first before the rest and she said, I hope you like it Naruto, as she sat down and ate. Naruto said, thank you, as he took a bite and said, this is good, as he started to dig in with renewed vigor as did the others except Temari who was eating slowly with a little tinge of pink on her cheeks. Naruto looked up as he finished the bowl and said, are you alright, you look red. Temari who felt the eyes of her brothers on her said, yes, I'm fine, just a little hot from cooking. Naruto smiles and the door to the kitchen opened up and the Chunin who was following Naruto saw Naruto and who he was with and said, what's going on here? Gaara said, Naruto here came and asked if he could join us for lunch and we agreed since Temari felt like cooking. What are you doing here? As he looked at the man releasing a little cur intent. The Chunin paled and said, I was just looking to make sure he found himself some water in his hotel since he was a guest here for the Chunin exams Gaara-sama, as he pointed to Naruto. Naruto who had just finished the second bowl said, one was just finishing. You cook really good Ms. Temari. You will make some guy very happy one day. Agent thank you for the company but as the guard said I am still needing to get a hotel room. I was supposed to stay at the hotel with the Konoha teams. I believe the Hokage told me that it was going to be Team 4 from Konoha with Ebuse, Kurenai, and Kotetsu under temporary sensei Itachi Uchiha, making all three Sansibs wide-eyed for a moment. Naruto bowed and said, Agent I thank you and have a good day. Perhaps we can seal our bet later Gaara-sama over a game of Go if you have the time and permitted to. Gaara smiled and said, of course. I'm afraid I did not catch your full name Naruto-san. Naruto said, forgive me, my name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Gaara said, it's a pleasure Namikaze-san, as he shook hands with Naruto. Naruto smiled to them and left with his guard and asked, so where is this hotel at? I'm full now and could use a shower before I retire for the evening. The Chunin said, right this way, as he glanced at the Sansibs as he left. Kankuro snickers and said, tricky as a fox. Some things never change. Temari said, well I'm full. So are you going to do it Gaara? Gaara said, hell yes. A chance to sleep agent and shut the damn raccoon up. I would be a fool not to jump at this chance. So what was that dragon searching for? Temari said, I don't know, as she thought to herself about something. Kankuro asked, should we show our true SKS? Gaara said, no. For now let's see where this plays out and go from there. For now let's just wait until we know what is really going on. I will ask Naruto when I get my seal fixed. Kankuro and Temari nods and all three leave the restaurant and Gaara said, send the bill to the Kazekage, as they walked out. As they were walking Gaara stopped and looked toward a team that was entering a hotel and thought, another Jinchuriki but who? I must ask Naruto since he had info on all of us at one time. Temari asked, what is it Gaara? Gaara shook his head and said, I'm not sure. I will tell you later once I'm for sure. Come, we are supposed to meet Baki for our team training. Kankuro groans and said, I will be glad when he says we can get our weapons. I brought all mine with me in a scroll. Gaara said, I just brought some light reading in mine, as he gave a small giggle. Temari said, same, as she thought about what she brought in a scroll. That night Naruto was sleeping softly when he sensed a presence in his room and said, so how you doing Gaara, as he slowly sat up. Gaara took his shirt off and said, not as good as I will be when you fix this. Naruto walks over and grabs a scroll before walking over and said, lay on the floor so I can begin drawing the seals, as he unsealed some sealing ink and brushes. Gaara laid down and said, did you sense the other one who arrived today? Naruto said, Ni Yugito, vessel of Nibi. Yeah I sensed her. They took her right after they took you originally. Asuma SD shortly after that, as he started drawing seals. Gaara asked, so what's with the dragon? Is she trustworthy? Naruto said, I believe so. She came from a pretty reliable source and she sacrificed her own freedom to join me so I give her some faith. Gaara nods and said, makes sense but be careful. Not all who offer kindness are trustworthy. Naruto snorts and said, we're both living proof of that my friend. Gaara, I may be over my head on this. Gaara looked confused and said, the seal. Naruto said, no, The seal's easy to fix. My cousin. Shush is like us and she has the Yamato no Orochi in her, or more precisely the soul of it, but the demon's power is actually in the grass-cutter sword in Orochimaru possession. If she touches the sword, the demon will leave her and go in the sword like Kisame but backwards. Gaara thought and said, so to save her you got to get the sword from Orochimaru. Naruto nods and said, plus I won't be able to return to the leaf for a while. The Hokage basically wants me to make the whole world see me and gun for me. Gaara snorts and said, so you have to use your people skills and piss the world off. Not too hard for you, but I see your point. You need a way to protect your cousin. Let me work on things on my end and see what I can do, and you worry about tracking her and the sword down, but be careful. Naruto nods and asked, Itachi is going to be here tomorrow, so watch yourself. He is supposed to K his clan while the exams are going on, so the Hokage thinks if H is not there then maybe he won't be involved. H is also doing some security with Erozanen there also. Gaara said, seems like a reasonable plan. Any idea on what we should do? Naruto said, for now stay back and observe while secretly training. In case the war still happens, we need someone on the inside to know what changes are being made so we can prepare. I will inform those who know about the future that you're here to help, but other than the ones I mentioned earlier, no one knows, and I want to keep it that way. I gave you a weight seal to help you increase your speed, strength, stamina, and reserves, so that will help. Just channel chakra on this seal on your arm and say Kai. Practice shutting it off once a week to get used to your new speed and strength. I have a scroll detailing how to give it to you siblings for you. Are you ready now? As he looked at Gaara. Gaara said, I understand. How strong are you right now, Naruto? Naruto thought and asked, with or without the fox? Gaara said, without. Naruto said, hi Chunin, low Junin, unless I want to get flashy. If I do that then all gloves are off. That might work, as something clicked in his head. Gaara asked, what? Naruto said, no matter what, make sure you and your sibs are at the Chunin exam finals. I think I know a quick way to piss the world off, as a gleam entered his eyes and Gaara got scared. Gaara asked, this isn't going to be like the beachfront thing, is it? Naruto said, no. This time it will be an entire island thing with free rides and gifts and everything. Gaara groans and said, please don't destroy my village. I have big plans this time around. Naruto said, as long as Hibitum KS your old man. Gaara said, H is S either way. Temari done heard about some arranged marriage crap that H is planning to put her through in a few years, but we don't know the full details, and with him it may be just a joke, but we are never sure with him. Naruto said, that's a crock of S. Temari's a good woman, or girl. She deserves a decent man. I know her and Shikamaru never went past the first date, and she had something going for a while in the background, but she should not be used as some kind of property. Gaara gave Naruto a span look and said, this coming from the guy who put his own teammate on an auction block hog-tied in a naughty nurse outfit with matching bra and panties, completely drunk, and started the bidding at a penny. Naruto scratched his chin and said, your point. Gaara sighed and said, get on with the damn ceiling. I want to go to sleep. Naruto said, you know you're going to scare the S out of the whole village, right? Gaara said, what can I say? A friend showed me the joys of pranking. Naruto smiled and activated the seal, making Gaara scream out for a moment, and then after about 30 seconds he stopped and his body fell back, resting as he gasped for breath. Naruto said, your auto defense should still be the same, and you will need to work on chakra control since you got more of his chakra going into you now, but only about 10% more, so I say by the time you're 14 you should completely absorb it. Gaara nods and said, thank you brother, as he disappeared in a swirl of sand. Naruto looked at the seals on the wall and did some hand signs, and they all burned away, and he sat down on his bed and waited. The Kazekage was in his office doing paperwork when Gaara appeared and said, good night father, as he laid down on the sofa. The Kazekage did not look up for a moment and said, good night Gaara, and then he blinked and looked up and saw Gaara sleeping, and he screamed as he ran out of his office screaming, Gaara asleep, run for your lives. Naruto was sitting waiting when he heard the screams of Gaara's asleep, run for your lives, echo across the village and repeat several times as all of Suna awoke. Naruto laid down and said, sweet dreams brother, as he fell asleep. In the Sabaku estate, Temari and Kankuro both smiled and thought the same thing as they fell asleep. The next day when Naruto left his hotel room he was dressed in a pair of white pants with a red shirt and a pair of red sunglasses on and saw the looks of all the Suna residents and smirked at the bags under their eyes and thought, justice is served. As he was walking he felt like there were a pair of eyes on him but he could not place them until he saw Itachi looking at him and he blinked and said, "Hello Itachi." Itachi looked at Naruto and said, "You seem to be in good spirits today Naruto-san." Naruto said, "Thank you. Tell me, where is your team?" Itachi said, "They're at the hotel getting checked in. I was wondering if I may have a word with you in private." Naruto said, "Sure, where at?" Itachi said, "Wherever is convenient for you." Naruto said, "My hotel room. Follow me." Itachi followed Naruto and they both made it to his room quickly and quietly, and when they entered Naruto did some hand signs and said, "Silent ceiling jutsu," as the room glowed and he said, "Okay, we can talk and no one can hear us. What do you need?" Itachi said, "How's Anbu?" in a calm voice. Naruto asked, "What do you mean?" Itachi said, "Naruto-san, please do not think me as ignorant as people believe you to be. I may not have all the details but I can tell by the fact that you are here alone and the fact that your skills are completely unknown and that you are here with the Hokage permission that you are far stronger than a genin. There is also the fact of someone who has recently appeared as an Anbu who is younger than me and stronger than Kakashi. There are only so many possibilities to who that could be and you are the top and leading suspect, not to mention your parentage Namikaze." Naruto sighed and said, "You'll live up to your reputation as a prodigy Itachi. So tell me what is it you need from me? You obviously are not just wanting to confirm your theory." Itachi said, "No, in fact it is something that I have yet to mention to the Hokage. In fact I believe the Hokage would be unable to help me with the current situation." Naruto said, "Go ahead. I'm listening." Itachi said, "Recently my clan was contacted by someone who has offered him a deal." Naruto asked, "What kind of deal?" Itachi said, "He offered my clan power. Enough power to rule the world." Naruto said, "And, what have they decided?" Itachi said, "My father is going to test what we have been told and if it comes true they're going to defect from Konoha and join the man." Naruto sighed and said, "What do you think about it Itachi?" Itachi said, "I believe it is a trap and that my clan should be stopped but I don't know how." Naruto asked, "Did Madara tell you how to get the power?" Itachi said, "No how did you know it was Madara?" as he looked at Naruto with shock. Naruto smiled and said, "All right Itachi, I am going to break a few rules and let you in on some information but in return before I do I want to place a seal on you." Itachi asked, "Why?" Naruto said, "So that way if you betray mine and the Hokage trust or act on your own I can either paralyze you and stop you or KO you whichever the situation demand for the safety of Konoha." Itachi thought a moment and said, "Fine. My allegiance is to Konoha and the Hokage." Naruto smiled and got out some ink and walked behind Itachi and started to draw a seal on Itachi and said, "This is going to burn. Ready." Itachi nods and Naruto activates the seal but Itachi said nothing. When it was over Naruto sat back down and said, "All right, first thing first. Uchiha Madara is not what you would call slay. He cares nothing about anyone but power and having those who are strong follow him without question. Currently he has built a secret organization called Akatsuki. This group is composed of S-rank missing ninja and are currently based in a foreign country that myself and the Hokage know of but I will not reveal because we are unsure of how much control they have there or if they are independent of the country. Now, of current members we are only aware of a few. Sasori of the Red Sand, Orochimaru, a man named Pain who holds the legendary bloodline Rinnegan, his partner named Conan who has the ability to turn into paper and use paper as a weapon. Both were former students of Jiraiya during the last Great War but he only taught them enough to survive since they were children and then they were trained by the man who named the Sanins himself. We have unconfirmed information on other members but we are waiting for proof before we act on it. Now this group goal is to collect all 9-tailed demons and use them as super weapons to destroy all other hidden villages and enslave the people of the world though only Madara knows the real reason. The rest of the group believes that they are trying to end all wars and lead all other nations only threatening to use the demons as their power. I have already set in motions ways to ruin this goal but have yet activated them since it will not only kill the Kyuubi inside me leaving me severely weakened but also several allies I have helping in stopping them. Now Madara is actually the leader of this group, but he hides himself as an idiot and a low-level underling to the rest of the group except for Pain and Conan. Even Orochimaru has been fooled by his act. Now what information we have gathered on Madara is that he has created a jutsu that allows him to take over the body of another and use it as his own, transferring his soul into the body much like the Yamankos do with their minds, but in his case it's permanent. We have information that he has tricked Orochimaru into believing he secretly stole the jutsu for his own use when in fact he purposely gave him a weaker version of it, so when Orochimaru decides to betray them and when he uses the jutsu he will eventually cease from using it, too much as Madara knows he will, while he will do exactly what Madara wants him to do. Itachi asked, "What is that?" Naruto said, "Give Uchiha Sasuke the curse seal." Itachi got wide-eyed and asked, "Why Sasuke?" Naruto said, "Because Madara has chosen Sasuke as his next body and during the course of action to get it he plans to eliminate every other Uchiha on the planet so that he can breed only those of his future boss who are only loyal to him as he rules the world forever. He originally planned for you to be the instrument of destruction for your clan, which is why you are here in Suna now instead of Konoha. We know what Madara had planned, but we had one of our informations wrong on this. We believed Madara had contacted you and told you how to get the power he promised, but it looks like now that he had planned on your clan to use you as the test, since our sources told us that it was you he chose to push your brother into living the life of an avenger, betraying everyone for the power to KU, which would lead him to Orochimaru, and when he was strong enough for Madara to take him after he killed you, since by gaining the power he promised you would actually slowly make you go blind." As he lays back on the bed ignoring the shocked look on Itachi's face, Itachi asked, "So the Hokage is aware of this?" Naruto said, "Currently he has several units of Anbu and Jiraiya there to not only keep Sasuke safe but also to protect your clan. As long as you never unlock the next level in the Sharingan, then Madara plans for you and eventually Sasuke are ruined, which is why I placed the seal on you that not only me, but also the Hokage or Jiraiya could KU with, since it's a version of the Hyuga Cagebird seal. You understand the security risk now and understand my precaution." Itachi said, "I understand. What is to happen to me?" Naruto said, "We have a couple of options and they will depend on the rest of your clan, since we don't know who they will use as a test since you're not there currently. I don't know what the Hokage has planned, but I do know that Madara is supposed to be there when the test happens, since he wants to ensure that the next level is unlocked. I figure if Jiraiya and the Hokage can catch him in the act they will try and K him, but if not then arrest the test subject and make a public trial for the M of whoever it is that the person ked to unlock the next level, and then make it where everyone is aware of Madara plans for your clan thus." Itachi said, "Thus embarrassing my clan, forcing them to never go after the power since everyone will be looking for them to do so, thus preventing the destruction of my clan and ruining Madara plans." Naruto said, "It's only a temporary solution until Madara comes for me, at which time I will either K him or use the Shikinfujin and K him depending on how strong I am at him time, taking him along with myself and Kyuubi, thus stopping him." Itachi said, "Are you sure he will be coming for you?" Naruto said, "He wants his slave back, so he will come for me to reclaim the Kyuubi. He can always take the body of another Uchiha and bide his time, but with 6 of the demons sealed in humans right now he only has around the next 12 years to act, since the oldest Jinchuriki is over 60 and not in good health." Itachi said, "You have a lot of information on his. How?" Naruto said, "I created a spy network that is constantly repairing itself and that has nearly 1 million spies in it, and none of them even know that they are spies for me and live their lives without even knowing that they could be giving me all the information we need to save Konoha. Now what do you plan, Itachi?" Itachi said, "I have no choice but to wait and see what the Hokage plans." Naruto said, "In that case I have a mission for you." Itachi said, "What authorization do you have to give me orders?" Naruto raised his sleeve showing the captain tattoo and said, "I only answer to Jiraiya, Kakashi, Anko, and the Hokage himself. Currently I am equivalent to the highest ranking person in Suna until one of those 4 arrive here, and besides my mission is not very dangerous or hard. All I want you to do is keep your team safe until the exams are over, and when the finals arrive don't let any of them interfere with any of my matches, no matter who I am facing." Itachi asked, "Who do you plan to fight?" Naruto said, "I don't plan to fight anyone. I plan to K the Nibi," with his eyes closed making Itachi's eyes widen, and said, "I see. Anything else?" Naruto was quite a moment and said, "Yes, if a girl named Temari, a boy named Gaara or a boy named Kankuro come to see Kurenai, allow them private access to talk to her but do not allow any security they have besides each other to be alone with her. Itachi asked, why them and why her? Naruto said, Kurenai like you knows about me but she also knows of those three through me. If they need some way to get in contact with me they know to contact her and through her to me since she will be able to contact me where they wouldn't. As for who they are the children of the Kazekage who are in a position to relay information. Itachi said, you sure have quite a few sources and allies. Naruto said, Itachi, in about 2 years I should be stronger than my father was when he faced Kyuubi and that is a conservative look at my skills. Thanks to my bloodlines and the Kyuubi I am basically a one-man army. How many Kijibunshiens can you make before feeling chakra exhaustion? Itachi thought and said, 40, why? Naruto said, I train daily with 1000 Kijibunshiens and train all day. That is a drop in the hat for me. Now do you understand why the idiots back in Konoha have been stupid when it comes to me? Had I really been the Kyuubi with the skills and power I have then I could have destroyed the entire village in no time and if you're wondering why that genjutsu is not working on me I discovered a way to make nearly all genjutsu obsolete on me, as he set up. Itachi said, you are indeed impressive, Naruto-kun. I would like to test myself against you one day. Naruto said, allow me to rest a little once I return to Konoha in a few years and we shall have a spar. Deal. Itachi said, deal and I want me anshin any of this. Just then a frog appeared and said, yo bro, how's it going? Naruto said, fine Gamatachi, what are you doing here? Gamatachi said, is it okay to speak with him here? Especially when it pertains to what's going on in Konoha. Naruto said, go ahead. Itachi has been informed. Gamatachi nods and said, right, the Hokage created a mud clone to impersonate Itachi using your unique henge while he was away saying that the Hokage changed senses at the last minute and allowed him to stay. The clone was asked to meet his friend Shishui by a river where Shishui tried to K the clone but was knocked out by the clone. Currently he is being questioned by Ibiki but when he was captured Madara attacked the Uchiha and killed the Uchiha council as well as the Uchiha clan head. Naruto asked, was it just Madara or was there others? Gamatachi said, apparently it was just Madara. He was in the council chamber when he killed them all by using Kijibunshiens and a surprise attack. It was immediately after this that Jiraiya and the Anbu arrived and he immediately fled. Naruto sighed and said, right. Return to Jiraiya and tell him to have Hyash Hyuga, Hinata Hyuga, Hinabi Hyuga, and Neji Hyuga along with whatever security they want to come with him for the finals. I have a treat planned for them that they are going to want to be present for. Gamatachi nods and leaves and Itachi said, I don't understand, why would my best friend try and K me? Naruto said, thus forcing you to defend yourself and K him, then out of self-pity you would then awaken the next level of the Sharingan. You have to feel guilt over killing someone you care about to unlock it. Itachi sighs and said, I see that you were right about Madara. If I would have killed Shishui then I would have unlocked the eyes and then been pissed at my clan over it and killed them all for it. Naruto said, and then when you tried to fight Madara in an emotional state he would have beat you and then convinced you to follow him and leave your brother behind thus claiming credit for killing your family driving your brother thirsty for power and giving Madara what he wants. Itachi said, thank you Namikaze-sama for saving the rest of my clan with your information. Naruto said, Sama, questionably. Itachi said, if you had not informed the Hokage who put me here then I would be king my clan right now giving the real Kerr what he wants. Naruto said, well this is unexpected but I hate formalites, just call me Naruto. Itachi said, very well Naruto-kun. I have to return to my team. Naruto said, inform them about what happened so they are not caught unaware when the delegation for the exams arrive for the finals. I need to go get something to eat. As he set up and looked around for his keys while getting ready to leave. Itachi nods and said, good luck Naruto. Naruto nods as he saw Itachi leaves he slips the kunai back in his weapon pouch along with wiping the blood off his finger that was over a seal where he held it waiting to activate the seal if need be to stop and K Itachi. Naruto sighed and said, what a day. X. That will be all for this video, be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos, goodbye.